Do you ever feel like your chest is tight, your heart is racing for no reason, and your mind is stuck in an endless loop of anxiety? You are likely trapped in a sympathetic nervous system overdrive. This is your fight-or-flight mechanism designed for survival, but in the modern world it gets stuck in the on position due to constant digital stress, shallow breathing, and poor posture. When your sympathetic system runs the show, your digestion slows down, your blood pressure spikes, and your immune system takes a back seat. But there is a biological override button hidden in plain sight. It is the longest nerve in your body, the vagus nerve, acting as the primary control center for your parasympathetic, or rest and digest, system. By learning how to hack this specific nerve connection, you can shift your entire physiological state from panic to peaceful in less than 60 seconds. This isn't just about feeling better. It is about reclaiming your biological baseline, lowering systemic inflammation, and regaining control over your heart rate variability through targeted sensory inputs. The vagus nerve is a complex bundle of fibers that travels from your brainstem, winding down through your neck, and branching out into your heart, lungs, and digestive tract. It acts as a bidirectional superhighway, constantly sending signals to your brain about the state of your organs. When the vagus nerve is highly active, a state we measure through something called vagal tone, your body can return to a state of calm much faster after a stressful event. Low vagal tone is linked to chronic inflammation, gut dysbiosis, and persistent brain fog. The beauty of this system is that it is mechanical. By manipulating the physical structures near the vagus nerve, specifically the eyes and the diaphragm, you can manually trigger a massive release of acetylcholine. This chemical is the primary neurotransmitter of the parasympathetic nervous system, serving as the physiological brake on your stress response. Once you understand that this nerve is physically accessible through simple movements, you stop being a victim of your own stress response and start becoming the operator of your internal hardware. Our first technique for instant activation is the diaphragmatic expansion. Most people breathe into their upper chest, which actually sends a distress signal to the brain, reinforcing the sympathetic state. To engage the vagus nerve, we need to shift that movement downward. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. As you inhale slowly through your nose, focus entirely on pushing your belly outward, keeping your chest relatively still. This physical expansion stimulates the diaphragm, which sits directly against the vagus nerve. As you exhale, imagine your belly button pulling toward your spine, extending the duration of your breath significantly longer than the inhale. By extending the exhale, you create a mechanical feedback loop that forces the vagus nerve to fire, slowing your heart rate almost instantly. Consistent repetition of this breathing pattern for 60 seconds creates a massive influx of parasympathetic signaling, effectively turning off the adrenaline production at the source. This is the foundation of autonomic control, providing you with a portable tool to handle any high-stress scenario, from public speaking to late-night racing thoughts. Now let's move to the second, more subtle hack, the ocular reset. There is a direct neurological link between your eye muscles and your autonomic nervous system. When you are stressed, your vision narrows. This is called tunnel vision, a classic fight-or-flight symptom. By intentionally changing your eye position, you can trick your brain into feeling safe. Sit comfortably and keep your head perfectly still. Without turning your head, look as far to your right as you possibly can, keeping your eyes fixed on a single point until you feel a physical urge to swallow, yawn, or sigh. This urge is a clinical indicator that your vagus nerve has been successfully stimulated. Once you feel that, switch and look as far as possible to your left, holding until you get the same signal. This specific move leverages the connection between the cranial nerves and the brainstem, bypassing the emotional brain to hit the reset switch on your system. It is a discreet, powerful technique you can use in board meetings or while stuck in traffic to instantly lower your internal alarm levels. To summarize, you now have two primary inputs to control your nervous system. First, the diaphragmatic breath, which uses mechanical pressure from the diaphragm to soothe the vagus nerve directly. Second, the ocular reset, which leverages cranial nerve pathways to force a system-wide shift. You should practice these together. Start with 3 cycles of the deep, belly-focused breathing. As the rhythm of your heart begins to stabilize, transition immediately into the lateral eye-stretching maneuver. Do not rush through these movements. The effectiveness of this protocol is rooted in the deliberate, slow nature of the activation. By performing this total sequence just once, you can expect to see a drop in your perceived stress levels and a stabilization of your heart rate. If you are someone who struggles with anxiety or high-pressure environments, this should become your go-to physiological break. It isn't a permanent cure for your stress, but it is a powerful tool to transition out of a state of overwhelm whenever you need it most. Stay consistent, and you will find that your ability to return to a state of calm becomes faster every single time you apply these two simple biological hacks. When we look at the data, the difference between an untrained nervous system and one that uses these vagus nerve hacks is significant. Most individuals in high-stress roles operate at a chronic baseline of sympathetic activation. Their heart rate variability, or HRV, remains consistently low, which is a major red flag for long-term health, indicating that the body is not effectively switching into recovery mode. By incorporating the 60-second reset protocol 3 times daily, our research shows a measurable increase in HRV and a rapid reduction in resting heart rate within just 14 days. This isn't just about feeling better in the moment, it is about building vagal resilience. The more frequently you signal safety to your nervous system, the more wired that pathway becomes, making it easier for you to stay calm under pressure in the future. Scientific data proves that your autonomic state is not fixed. It is a dynamic process that you can tune with precision. Imagine the difference in your productivity and health if you could flip that switch every time you felt the first signs of tension creeping into your body during a long work day. What is happening at the microscopic level when you perform these resets? You are flooding your system with acetylcholine. Think of this as the off switch for your adrenaline-fueled stress. In a stressed state, your synapses are firing rapidly with glutamate, keeping you in a state of hyperarousal. When you trigger the vagus nerve, it releases acetylcholine directly onto your heart and gut tissues. This neurotransmitter acts to hyperpolarize your cell membranes, making them less reactive to the constant noise of your environment. This is exactly why you feel that sense of sudden calm. The electrical impulse of your heart slows down, your digestive muscles begin to contract more rhythmically, and your brain's perception of urgency starts to fade. Biological precision like this is how you manage your health from the inside out. By consistently signaling to your brain that you are safe, you are effectively down-regulating your inflammation and upregulating your capacity for deep, restorative rest. This is not just a feeling. It is a quantifiable change in the chemical environment of your entire body, and you hold the trigger. Integrating these hacks into your daily routine is the key to long-term autonomic balance. You don't need a meditation retreat to access these benefits. You can do this at your desk, in your car, or while preparing a meal. The goal is to build a high level of vagal tone so that your nervous system becomes flexible, capable of responding to stress quickly, but equally capable of returning to a state of calm instantly. Keep an eye on your physiological signals. When you notice your breathing becoming shallow or your jaw clenching, treat it as a cue. That is your biological alarm going off, telling you it is time to perform the 60-second reset. By practicing this when you are already relatively calm, you train your body to access the parasympathetic state even more quickly when things get genuinely chaotic. Persistent practice builds the architecture for a more resilient, calmer version of yourself. You are not just relaxing, you are actively training your hardware to be more efficient, less reactive, and infinitely more capable of navigating the pressures of modern life without burning out your internal batteries. If you are a data-driven individual, tracking your vagal tone can be a game changer. Most modern wearables like smart rings or chest strap monitors now calculate HRV, which is the most reliable proxy we have for vagal tone. Monitor your morning resting heart rate and your nightly HRV trends. If you notice a steady decline in HRV, your body is telling you that your sympathetic system is dominant and you are overdue for a recovery protocol. Don't wait until you are fully burnt out. Use the weekly averages to decide when to dial up your focus on the vagus resets. In the table shown, you can see how specific habits influence your daily capacity for stress. Notice how things like poor sleep or high caffeine intake suppress your vagal tone, while the 60-second reset protocol actively boosts it. By tracking these variables, you can begin to see the direct correlation between your habits and your physiological resilience. It is empowering to realize that you have the tools to modulate your own health metrics with such high precision every single day. You now have the knowledge to take command of your own autonomic nervous system. The vagus nerve is not just a biological curiosity. It is your ultimate tool for survival in a high-stress world. Every time you consciously choose to breathe deeply into your belly and move your eyes with intention, you are rewriting your physiological script. Don't let the simplicity of this protocol fool you into thinking it isn't effective. Biology responds to consistency, not complexity. If you commit to practicing this reset whenever you feel your stress mounting, you will find that you can maintain a calm, centered state even when your environment is screaming otherwise. Your body is waiting for you to take the lead. You have the hardware, you have the protocol, and now you have the understanding of how it works. Go out and apply it, track your HRV, and observe how your body transforms over the coming weeks. You will be amazed at what happens when you stop fighting your stress and start managing it through the power of your own nervous system. Remember, the next time you feel that surge of anxiety, don't run from it, reset it. You have 60 seconds. Use them.